Andrew Tate says that the United States of America is behind his detention in Romania in a new, absolutely shocking bombshell allegation from his legal team. We will cover it all here. The Tates preserve their innocence to reporters and express it with media cameras running outside of the jail cell that they are held in Bucharest, Romania. Recent videos finally surfacing with the Tates being carried from police car to their cells. They are saying that their case file is empty and that there is absolutely no case against them and that people are beginning to get closer to the truth.
You're getting closer to the truth. Ask the politicians, ask the judges. You're getting closer to the truth.
That was Tristan Tate talking to the reporters outside of the jail cell. Andrew Tate himself being brought in and out of the jail cell saying this.
Gentlemen, ask the police what evidence there is against me. Ask the police what evidence there is against me.
Yeah, the Matrix is trying to frame me, but God knows the truth. There's no evidence in my file because I've done nothing wrong. Everybody knows I'm innocent. It's okay. Everyone knows I'm innocent. There's cockroach. Box in your file. Everyone knows I'm innocent.
Everyone knows I'm innocent, ladies and gentlemen. The Tates as well. This is from a...
Is what evidence is there against Tristan Tate? There is none. That should be the story on the news. The police have fabricated the evidence. There's no evidence.
Empty pieces of paper,
Please put
no
up the
victims,
story.
nothing.
There's no
So you need to look into it and find out why they're doing that.
Yeah, there are no victims. The case file is empty, according to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate has seen the case file and says there is no justice in Romania. Tate finally being able to speak to reporters, but being able to speak to reporters as he is carried from a police vehicle into a cell and back and forth. So it certainly is not comprehensive. What is comprehensive, however, are statements that his lawyers are making about the Tate's imprisonment. Now, this is a very, very strange situation in Romania. They are taking Andrew Tate's property. They are seizing his private property and detaining him. Why? They haven't filed charges against Andrew Tate. Now, we're not going to speak to Tate's innocence or guilt, but they have yet to file any charges. They have yet to bring any case. In America, that would never happen because you are not able to be detained or imprisoned without charges. There are rules against this, literally foundational in the Constitution of our country. Now, Paul Joseph Watson reached out to the Tate's lawyer, and the Tate's lawyer had this to say about who was actually detaining the Tates. He said it was America and the United Kingdom. Listen.
This legal team spelled out clearly what they think the reason is in an email to me. Quote, there are many high-ranking, highly credible Romanians who publicly have stated this case and all the evidence is rigged. This isn't a Romanian order. The brothers believe this is a foreign order given to Romania from an outside force to detain them in order to reduce their influence inside the USA and UK. Their orders are to hold Andrew and Tristan Tate in detention for as long as possible in order to damage their influence inside the USA and UK.
Wow. Okay, so they are trying to hold them as long as possible in order to damage their influence inside of the USA and the UK. Now, what about Romania? What do we know about the nation of Romania? It was part of the Soviet bloc. It was a Soviet country up until 1989. A lot of the same practices that existed inside of that Soviet bloc were brought forward, even though it is now a democracy. Ladies and gentlemen, this according to Statista, which is a nonpartisan statistics website. Corruption is a widespread problem in Romania, which developed during the transition from a communist to a democratic regime. The years following the Romanian Revolution of 1989 were characterized by an institutional and legislative vacuum, which caused serious dysfunctions, not only in the criminal justice system, but also at the political level. Nowadays, corruption is seen as part of the business culture in Romania, since people still find it acceptable to either do a favor or to give gift money, obtain something from the public administration. Apart from the political and the institutional environment, corruption problems have constantly been reported in the healthcare systems, ladies and gentlemen, and inside of the criminal justice system. Perhaps this is why this ruling from the judge to hold once again without charges Andrew Tate is so damning. Here, the judge inside of the Tate trial says essentially that they are holding Andrew Tate because he's particularly dangerous online. What? He's particularly dangerous online, and the judge goes on to say that prosecutors have not fully clarified the facts of the case. The judge's statement said, but he added that it did not eliminate reasonable suspicion that the defendants had committed the crimes. Huh? Ladies and gentlemen, this is really incredible, dangerous stuff. Even Romanian media are turning against their own government on this issue. Listen to this broadcast from the largest watched Romanian news publisher in the country.
Has given an order to make the Tate brothers disappear from their capacity to influence the public, especially Andrew. I have not only watched the unfolding of this case on your TV broadcast, but followed this case closely. Initially, I thought it's a cover-up for something, but from what I can see, from a criminal point of view, everything looks like an improvisation, as what the prosecution had on file wasn't sufficient evidence. It is quite improvised, rigged.
Everything is rigged, according to that legal scholar inside of Romania, saying that everything is being improvised, that there is actually no case. And if there was a case, why wouldn't they bring this information to bear in the court of public opinion? What they are trying to do right now is assassinate Andrew Tate's character, which is very strange. If this man was such a guilty person, why would he give full access to the BBC to never-before-seen footage for a new documentary chronicling his rise to fame and the aftermath of an arrest? This is certainly not the behavior of a guilty person. Also, why are the victims inside of the Andrew Tate case, Jasmina being one of them, she has an active Twitter account, regularly and often releasing videos saying that the Tate brothers are innocent, that they are like family, and that this corruption is disgusting. Innocent people are in jail, so the prosecutor can try and get a promotion because the system is rigged. And it's not just her. It's Andrew Tate's ex-girlfriend going on and talking about how all of these accusations are lies. It's Ukrainian refugees saying that these accusations are lies and that the Tate brothers actually helped her out to get out of a war zone. And then she was robbed by the Romanian authorities.
Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to share my thoughts about Tate brothers with you. I know them well and for a long time, and they helped me and many Ukrainian refugees. They are really nice guys, and it's really sad to see them still in this prison after what happened. I'm going to share with you what happened with me. At 6 a.m., 10 people raided my house. They took all my devices and phone. I think that you can imagine how much I was scared. They are purposefully trying to pressure me to make them guilty. I can say that the court is trying to manipulate the girls, saying only what is beneficial to them. After what happened, I came to conclusion that due to lack of evidence, they are trying to extract any information against them, using quite serious methods of manipulation. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
So who's actually manipulating these young women? Here's another Ukrainian refugee who was talking about how Andrew Tate worked to save her and her family from the war zone, ladies and gentlemen. POV, me watching the case against Andrew Tate and his brothers fall apart. Ladies and gentlemen, it is falling apart, though. And we would be happy to bring you all of the evidence if there was any. But even leftist sites, legal sites in America are saying, wait a second, this reeks of incredible corruption inside of the Ukrainian system. I'm sorry, inside of the Romanian system that is endemically corrupt.
I mean, look, in the United States, it's a prosecutor's duty to search for the truth. If they find evidence that exonerates a defendant, they have to present it. They can't hide it. They have to release a defendant. Is it, I hate to say this, but is that the same thing that we're dealing with in Romania? Because yes, I understand that they don't want to make it look like they were wrong, but if there's evidence that comes out that this is not true against him, what happens?
I would say that this is more the focus of the defense team. The prosecutor is mainly focusing on finding evidence against Tate brothers, right? That's what he's focusing on. If he may find something that exonerates them of how do you say, of their
crimes,
fault,
of the crimes,
guilt,
yes.
of the crimes, yeah, then this will fall into the attorney's place to recognize it and talk about it.
You mean it's on the defense counsel? It's not on the prosecutor?
On the defense, exactly.
Wow.
That's corruption. So if they find something that exonerates Andrew Tate, like let's say the camera footage of Andrew Tate's compound in Bucharest, on the outskirts of Bucharest, that would show definitively whether he was sex trafficking or keeping someone against their will, wouldn't they use that in the case? But according to Andrew Tate's lawyers, the police have all that footage and they're not using it in the case. Well, that would seem odd. If you had that kind of evidence.
Has the footage from the indoor surveillance cameras been added to the case file? No. We specified the fact that those surveillance cameras have been in the police custody for more than 9 months and the respective images have not been submitted in a case file, although they could have built a very good element in the outlining of the defense, because it could easily have been observed that at no time was any of the persons in question prevented from leaving the respective house.
Oh, okay, so it would have exonerated the Tate brothers from your allegations against them. Now, this is really, I think, ultimately the question is, will this have the intended effect? We don't know. We don't have evidence that the United States or the UK ordered, as Tate's lawyers say, the Tate brothers to be detained as long as possible by this corrupt country in order to limit or mitigate their effect. We do know that they've already been canceled, and as Andrew Tate says, that eliminated one of his lives. Nor are we trying to sit here and endorse the Tate's business model or the morality of what the Tates do. What we are trying to say here as people who also influence online and have a large following online is you can't just lock somebody up on suspicion that they were once mean to a girl. You have to actually show proof, and on this show and in this country and in every moral Western country, in any country that should have any type of standing on the international stage, you should be considered innocent until you are proven guilty. So is and are these tactics preventing Andrew Tate from having influence on young men? Well, actually not. Andrew Tate is now more the center of attention and more the center of focus and discussion than he has ever been. There is an entire hour-long block on the show Dr. Phil talking about Andrew Tate. Here's the opening of it.
Has heard of Andrew Tate, the demise of guys.
If your escapisms are better than your crummy life, then you're going to dwell more in those escapisms. So what do men do today when they're addicted to pornography? Anyone in this room on their phone can go get hardcore pornography anytime they want to. There's a reason why it's free. You go and you look at marijuana being
So the conversation about too much porn and too much marijuana and too much abuse of yourself and not respecting yourself is now permeating into the culture. Piers Morgan, certainly not a right-winger in England, had this to say about Andrew Tate as of late.
Reasons, actually, Alex, I, for example, interviewed Andrew Tate twice in the last few months because I was made aware by my sons, all in their 20s, that this guy has an unbelievable following, sort of below the radar, not on mainstream media. He'd been no platform everywhere. And I thought, well, this is actually really odd situation. And when I interviewed him, they both got gigantic viewer numbers. I mean, off the charts.
It's a really good example you brought up there because, you know, let's do an appraisal of...
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have here? We have Andrew Tate being tried inside one of the most corrupt countries in all of Europe, arguably the most corrupt country in all of Europe. Now, you will allow me to simply take a step back and say, I don't know why he would decide to base his business inside of a country like that. That seems like a bad move, but that's Monday morning quarterbacking here. Why is the prosecution not able to present a case? Why is the judge allowing the indefinite detention of two men who are innocent? And the reason I say that is because they haven't been proven guilty. Why are Andrew Tate's property? And why is Andrew Tate's personal items like his Bugatti getting seized? They have seized dozens of Andrew Tate's cars and properties. Why are they raiding the homes of various victims who claim not to be victims at all, but actually quite good friends with the Tates? This seems like a manufactured political hit job that is being done to a political prisoner to politically persecute somebody who goes very much against the narrative. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen?